Hey guys, welcome to Waste Not Wednesday. We go live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and we take junk, things that we get for free, or we thrift, and we make them over. Today's episode is things we got for free from our neighbors and Caitlin.
Yep, couple of freebies that we're going to be doing a little makeover on. This, I don't know if I can show it to you all at once. So the top is kind of cool. It's got like all these divots and dents and stuff that's carved in the top. This is sanded, and the high spots got light and didn't take the stain. But it's got these big chunky legs.
It's all solid wood, yes?
Yeah, 100% solid wood.
This came from my friend Kita. Her sister was moving, and this was her niece's nightstand that her niece did not want. And of course, she called me. She actually FaceTimed me and said, you know, would you like to have this nightstand? I'm like, absolutely. So that's one of the projects that I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be using DIY paint in petticoat pink and crinoline. And I'm using I can never remember the names of everything.
It's very dark. It's like a mahogany.
Fluor pink inlay.
Which one is that?
The pink, what?
The pink?
Petite Fluor pink inlay.
Okay.
And I'm going to be two-toning this, and then Zeb's going to be working on a mirror. We got this mirror from Caitlin, and it's kind of been in the garage for a while because I kind of thought that the way that it was, really the paint job that was on it was like kind of the best look for us. I'm like, how can we make this over? And it's not really my style to have the mirror together.
This should be a pretty fast makeover. This was over the top of the mirror in here, and you'll be able to see I need to clean it. And this is not this snowflake situation is not necessarily our style. So we got rid of this, and luckily it was a separate insert that just pulled right on out. It's fine. It looks cool. We will probably sell it just as is because someone's going to need it and love it. But for the mirror purposes, we're pulling that out, and then I'll show you the mirror. Has like this good like farmhouse paint job on it already. Can you see that in there? I'll bring it close. All right. So that's the finish on the mirror there. And I'm going to leave that. It's got like it's like a pasty, waxy kind of finish that like is flaking off as I touch it on the white parts. So I'm going to get rid of that problem by waxing it.
All right, I am going to
This will work. I just need something to get
get
under
started
here.
painting my piece. So I've got crinoline going on this drawer. I'm going to do one thin coat, and then I'll come back and second coat it so I can put my paint inlay. And I think I'm going to do crinoline on the top, and then the rest is going to be pink.
Can you see that design in the dust on there a little bit in the reflection? I got to clean this up. And then because of that big lip in there, the frame is going to be a little bit visible because the mirror sits down in this portion and that design sat down in this portion. So I'm going to paint that lip, and we'll wax that and get rid of that problem too. And for that, I'm just using DIY White Swan. I think it'll be just about a perfect match. I'm going to scoot you over just a hair. You guys see this whole project? All right. I think I'm just going to use this brush, and I'll get you a different one if you need it. I'm stealing your brush.
I need it.
Oh.
I've got two brushes for my project.
Oh, you have two colors. I see. All right.
I was like, listen, Linda, I need my brushes. All right. I'm going to paint the base pink. I'll flip it around so you guys can, I don't know. I'm not very good at this because if I stand in the front here, ooh, sweet mother of Moses, this thing is like, okay, got it. Okay, now I can paint this and you can see what I'm painting. We're not using cottage colors today, Caroline. We used cottage colors yesterday if you watched our Paint-A-Palooza. I chose not to use cottage colors because I'm doing inlays. And I can do inlays in cottage colors. Look how chunky that is. I'll save that for, I don't know. I'll add some water to it. I don't put my lids on the way that I should.
So my makeover is probably going to be really quick and easy.
But I'm using the DIY paint because it works. It's easier for me with the inlays. And it's that time of year when it's hot in the afternoons, but cold in the morning. So I'm wearing a sweatshirt because it was chilly this morning.
It's always chilly for Jamie. Even when it's 100, it'll get down into like the high 60s because we usually have about a 30-degree swing. So if it's like 95, it'll be 65 at night. So we contemplated like what could we put inside this lip, and we're like, you know what, paint. Paint is the solution.
Well, we want to make it kind of match. I was thinking about putting an IOD transfer on the mirror, but so I wasn't sure. So comment if you want to see an IOD transfer or if you want us to just leave the mirror the way that it is.
I mean, it's lived its whole life with something over the top of the mirror.
So now you want to let it be free?
I don't know. We could, I was just saying like it won't be anything new.
It won't be anything new for it?
Yeah.
All right. Don't mind me. I'm just getting up on the stool to paint this. That's going to be a pain to try to keep that nice and neat, but I think I could do it. If you ever get chunks of paint like in your DIY paint, you can always add water and mix it up.
It's not a twisty stool, is it?
No. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to paint this so people can see what I'm doing. I really didn't contemplate that when I decided to paint this piece.
Well, it's like tall and narrow.
Watch
so
Jamie.
where are you going to do the drawer with the crinoline?
Yeah, and the top.
Oh, the drawer and the top. Okay.
Watch Jamie paint on top of her kitchen island. That'll be fun.
It's a new series.
I've got the pirate stance. Arr. I don't know.
Can you need to rotate that?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great. You guys, I
can
am
hear
not,
the frustration
I am
building
not
up.
weak. I promise. This is just a really heavy piece.
Oh, it's like a solid chunk of wood. It's about, I don't know, 50, 60 pounds.
And it's like awkwardly sized. There we go. All right.
It's like moving a big old sack of feed.
Jennifer says, I'm from BC, Canada. We spent a week in Prescott and loved that city, but it was hot. Way too hot for a coastal girl. Prescott, huh? It's hot. They have a heat wave. Usually it's not too bad.
Well, by June, it's in the high 90s.
But it very seldom goes over 100 degrees. I remember when I was pregnant with Odelia, I worked downtown Prescott and it was so hot. I used to work in the mortgage industry for those of you that didn't know that. And so I had a little corner office overlooking the Prescott Square, and I crunched numbers. And
if she's from British Columbia, though, like it's probably nice and cool, lots of rain. Whereas Prescott this time of year is very dry, very hot. Like you can, at 95, you can see the heat waves coming up off the road.
That's true. Well, my friend just got back from Scotland and she said it was so cold. She went to a Taylor Swift concert and she said that all the Scots were dressed in, I'm going to have to chop off the end of this handle. Like, anyways, all the Scots were dressed in their cute little T Swift outfits and they were in sweaters, raincoats. She's like, they must be really acclimated because it was freezing cold and they were all in cute sequin dresses.
Well, and we're used to cold here, or maybe they just don't care. They just
no, but it's like a damp cold.
Yeah, it is different.
We're dry.
When I was in Connecticut, you know, I was used to the cold and I had to bundle up like I've never bundled before because we had what they call, and some people will probably be familiar, they called it a nor'easter, come in a few times and it would literally dump like 2 feet of snow in about an hour.
I guess they had a foot of snow in Montana. Harrington got snow in Wyoming. It's in Jackson.
Yeah, like 2 days ago he got snow in June.
We
We have had snow.
Zeb says we've had snow
in June here. The very
not
first
down in the valley.
No, down in the valley. The very first year we moved here, I remember because I had to drive to work in it. No, it was June. It was like June 3rd or something like that.
You might be right.
But it was that first year we moved. It was a huge snow. Like we moved in November, there was like 2 feet of snow on the ground.
It was a horrible snow year.
And anyway, that year, and I'm thinking like it was our first year up here. I hadn't been through a summer up here yet because I started working at Discount Tire in like at beginning of October, end of September, somewhere in there. And then Jamie moved up in December. And we were, I was like, what did we get ourselves into? What? It's snowing in June. That doesn't happen very often here. But we did cool off.
All right.
We got down to 40 in June.
My big strong man, can you flip that? Just flip it up for me. I'm just going to have to paint it upright.
All right. They can see it.
It's not going to be very pretty.
I have the whole thing upright in the shot.
But I got to flip it.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Well, I can't do all the things from that angle.
I know. I got to flip it around to the right side. If Zeb wasn't here, I could totally do this, but I would have to like get my butt in the camera.
She would just move around the piece versus the piece moving around her.
Yeah. And that's just not very something that I want to do. Get my butt in the camera, in the butt shot. So.
Okay, so now we got that inset painted because you'll be able to see this lip in the reflection on the mirror once we pop that back in there. I'm going to set this outside so it can dry, and then I might distress that to kind of match. Maybe not as heavy as this is on the outside. And then we'll see about doing a transfer. If enough people comment that they want to see a transfer on the mirror, I'll probably do it.
Okay. Sounds good to me. So you're probably going to think I'm weird, but I'm going to double coat the pink before I paint this part because I'm going to do a nice crisp line on the edge. And I don't want to keep fighting, like paint it pink, get the lip white. So I'm just going to do 2 coats of pink, and then I will come back because I'm going to have to go on the edge like this with the pink because it's easier to come down this way straight with white than it would be to try to cut it underneath. So I'm just going to get all the pink finished. Then I'll paint the white on top. There was a method to my madness.
All right. So channel members may recognize this print.
I didn't get it listed.
Oh, you didn't list it? Well, I'll show you anyway, and Jamie can get this listed afterwards, or I can, one of the two.
I could probably do it while we're live
so
I get this painted.
This is, we print these out. This is the printable for this month. And channel members, if you get the printable, you can do 100 of each. We usually limit them to 50 each because it's on, we do these only on the dictionary pages, the old dictionary pages. So this one here is 2 birds. You can see them in here in the flowers. And we're going to do 50 of these. They'll be available soon, apparently. Do you need me to take over painting for you so you can list these?
I can list them real quick.
And then we also did a barn with some sunflowers. This was the printable this month. Channel members can print off up to 100 of each of their copy, of their digital copy that they have access to. But if you're not a channel member and you want to get a hold of these, we're going to do a limited run of 50 of each of these on the dictionary pages. And the pages are picked at random. Like
we make sure they're not like anything funky.
We try to make sure that there's not like crazy words up top on there, but the pages will have whatever words are
there
in that spot.
Okay, let me get this real quick. Little pro tip, if you guys need to take photographs of things like this, doing it on wood floors, or I just did it on my dining table is a really nice backdrop. Have just a few. It's all, if your dining table top is not nice, then it would behoove you to sand it and restain it if you're a reseller, so you have somewhere consistent to take pictures. I actually have been contemplating sanding down or doing something different with where I normally take my thrift flip pictures.
I think it just needs a serious scrub.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that. So it sat outside forever, and then your dad spilled like a big soda or something on it, and he wiped it off. But I don't know that it ever got wiped off since we moved it into the house, because we were still doing construction when it got moved into that corner over there. And I don't know that it ever got properly scrubbed. So we could probably help it out by giving it a good scrub.
Curious what's the cost of the dictionary print papers? They're $4.95 each.
Oh, did I not? I'm sorry.
No,
I should have mentioned that.
that's all right. I'm going to get the barn sunflowers one listed first.
We have others. I think there's a couple left of some of them. We did a patriotic one last month.
I'm going to put it in the new to JRB collection. I don't think we've been doing that.
But mostly they're selling out. Like the limited runs of 50, like they pretty much sell out with left. Yeah, I think we have 3 bunny papers from April left. So they typically sell out within the month that we produce them or put the product out. I guess.
How is that monitored? So it is on your honor.
Yeah.
If you print out more than 100, then you're doing so illegally, because Zeb includes like a.
That's what the licensing is
license, like a little release. That's what it is for you guys to use in case, especially if you go to like a print shop, because they're going to want the release, and that's what it says on the release. So if people exceed that,
I've never had a problem with it in like 6 years of doing printables. I've never had to worry about someone printing out more.
Basically, what we don't want is to be giving these printables to our to people, then they turn around and use them on a huge commercial venture. Like they start their own paper line and use our printables for that, because for what we're charging, it's like $6 a month. That doesn't really cover that amount of licensing, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it just kind of covers that. Okay, there's the barn, and then what's the barn, and then what's the other one? Floral.
The birds in the rose bush.
Pink floral. I'm going to call it pink floral with birds. I need to get my drawer out of there.
This is drying enough. I'm able to come back over and do a second coat. This paint is thick. The lid hasn't been on here good.
Okay, so Ivy has just listed the sunflower paper, and then the pink floral with birds should be up now. Okay. Ivy, can you make sure those are in the flat rate shipping collection too? I don't know if it automatically does that when you copy them. All right, I'm back. I can get back to work in here. Do you want to go check your project and my project outside?
Mine's probably not dry. I just took it out there.
Mine might be. All right, well then I'm going to move this over.
We need to do this side up top here.
I'm going to move this over to you.
I'm like double coating this.
Yeah.
And should have been painting this portion here.
I'm going to go grab my
So you can see how well this DIY paint sticks. This is a fairly, I would say, a semi-gloss finish on this wood, and it's sticking right to it. No issues. And you know us, we'll probably do some distressing and
tasteful distressing. All right, I need you to move over there.
Some aging and some waxing. You know how that goes.
See, so nice when you have long arms. Okay, we're going to second coat this in crinoline. Then I'm just going to use this portion of the inlay, center it where the knob's going to be. And then I haven't decided, I might add these on the front legs on the pink. I think it'd be cute. Sarah from Ampers and Unique Gifts says, I haven't ever done more than 2 or 3, but I was just wondering. Yeah, we just limited.
You know, I was going to mention that. I'm like, you know, if you're selling 100, because we only print out 50 of each. If you're selling 100 of these and you need really more, crazy. Like, good on you.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe you should start your own design firm, because you definitely are doing well enough to sell 100 papers. We just tried to make it large enough that nobody would really ever need to print more. I guess that's kind of the. Okay, so this is nice and wet. And I'm going to put, oh gosh, I need to do this straight. Can't see where the hole is.
It's right there in the middle.
I know, but like when I go over the
through.
When I go over the top, I'm like, is that centered?
Yeah, that looks good. Just go. Just do it.
committing. So one of my pro tips is I try not to really push down around the cut edge so you don't get that line. I mean, it still kind of happens and you can kind of sand it off, but I'm just going to use my finger and just push down just the paint part. And this is actual paint. This is not a sticker. And this is also where I feel like it comes in handy to use the rag method because I don't want to miss the whole thing. I just want to get the paint portion damp. So I'm just getting that part wet. I'm not really pushing down everywhere else.
All right, I am going to haul this outside. Are you painting the lip?
That's going to be white.
Oh, the lip is going to go white.
But I want all the pink all the way done. Then I'm going to do the white last so that I can do a nice crisp line and not be going back and forth, back and forth.
I'm going to lift this up since we're doing more work up here than down on the face or the surface of the table. Okay, this is going to go outside so we can get some of that radiation heat drying from the sun.
Radiation.
Well, I've gone to just calling sunlight radiation because essentially, that's what it is. And it also encourages my young children to wear sunscreen. Like you don't want to get that radiation on your skin.
All right. All right, I guess I shouldn't go off camera too. Can you put that drawer out there, sweetie?
What?
Can you put that drawer out there?
Oh, yeah. There's like two schools of thought to the whole
There is
sunscreen,
not gonna.
right?
There are no coffee themed papers, and we don't drink coffee. We also don't drink alcohol, so there probably will never be any coffee or alcohol. Well, I shouldn't say probably. There will never be coffee or alcohol themed papers. But we will come up with a lot of other stuff.
Pretty much all the other stuff.
I'm like, what do I do with this? Should I just put it in a paper cup?
Okay, this is dry-ish. Do we have a piece of sandpaper out? So this is the front of that frame. It's got like really great kerf marks and paint down in that. They did a good job. Although I might need to go get pliers. There's a nail poking through the front. Hold, please. Can you get some sandpaper? I need to sand where I got paint up under the lip.
Where do you want me to get sandpaper from? The drawer?
I thought we had some in the drawer.
I will double check. Well, then I'm going to be off camera and you don't like it when
I'll be right back.
So hold, please. I'm just going to look here and smile. Vicky says she has a customer looking for their hutch. Yeah. What I think would be cute is, do you sell IOD, Vicky? They have that. I think they have a cocoa coffee themed.
They have the stamp, but it was a Christmas one.
So you could like stamp the back and make it look like paper.
All right, got that one.
It was a Christmas one. All right, I didn't get sandpaper because you don't like it when I'm off camera. And you're off camera, so I was trying to be an obedient wife. All right, this is 150, so that should work. And then let me go grab an inlay or a transfer for that.
Oh, 150 is a lot.
Oh, is it too much?
Yeah, it's like pulling off the stain.
Let me get 220 for you.
It might be okay. When I re-wax this, I can just be gentle.
You could also re-dry brush it.
Yeah. Now this is working. I just got to be kind of careful.
You have the collage de fleurs if you want to do like big flowers.
Did people say they want to see?
I thought people wanted to see a transfer. We have sunflowers from Painterly.
I was just reading comments, seeing if people, okay, Nancy says yes, transfer. I probably missed it up top because I'm just looking here. Hold on, let me scroll up.
We've been slowly chipping away at this transfer. I feel like it's the transfer that keeps on giving. But there are a lot of flowers in there that I feel like we can make a really pretty layout. Leslie says yes, transfer. Leslie has spoken.
I think
she probably would love it if I put sunflowers all over it because I know her. She is a sunflower girl, but I don't think we have enough sunflowers to fill the space, but we do have enough from the collage de fleurs. So we're going to use that.
So I think enough people have said they want it anyway. So like a lot of people have said to do transfers.
Oh, you do own the stamp.
Vicky owns the stamp.
Vicky owns it, but maybe you could rent it out. It could be a whole nother stream of business. You know, for people that don't want to commit to the stamp.
DIY rental.
Yeah, take a little charge like $10. They can use your stamp, hold their library card as collateral. You never know. All right, I'm going to check that drawer because that's going to dry pretty fast out there in the sun.
Speaking of library cards, funny story about that. We went on a hike with the youth, and one of the young women leaders had brought a bunch of oranges and apples in a IKEA bag or something that was like not necessarily a disposable bag. And she had to leave early, so she left me with this bag of oranges and apples. And so I don't know what happened. I had it for a while, and then it just ended up getting thrown away. And I thought she was messing with me. She's like, my library card was in that bag.
Why would her library card be in it?
It was like her bag that she used to take to the library and get books.
Well, she should have told you, but the IKEA bag.
She never did. Anyway, it wasn't an IKEA bag. It was just kind of like a
reusable bag.
A reusable canvas bag. I tossed it. It was in the back of my truck for like 3-4 weeks, and it just got tossed with all the stuff. Anyway, she went to get it back from me, and I'm like, oh, I don't think I have that bag. I'll have to get you another bag if you need another bag. I got a bunch like that. What do you want? I mean, we sell reusable bags at the shop. So I was just going to get her another bag. And she's like, oh, my library card was in that bag. I'm going to have to go get a new one. I'm like,
you're going to have to do this.
And in my mind, I thought she was messing with me. And then as the conversation went on, she's like, she was really serious about it. And she was actually grumpy that she was going to have to go get a new card. I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Well, I don't know why she wouldn't keep her wallet with her. But secondly, you know what you're going to have to do.
It wasn't her wallet. She just kept the card in there.
But I'm just saying, keep it in your wallet. But you're going to have to do a craft kit. All that to say is just trying to say, you do a craft kit for her. Make her a little sunflower bag.
Well, this was like 3 years ago.
Oh.
She's already got her new card and a new bag. She didn't want a new bag. She was fine.
Oh, okay. I thought this was recently.
It was Donna.
Oh. Well, we still know Donna.
I know.
You can still give her. Be like, remember that one time that I threw out your library card bag? I felt bad, and now I handmade this bag for you. Like, Donna would think that was amazing.
Yeah, she does love all the things. Like she does some
all right. I need
crafts
some space.
too. Oh, sorry. Is you waiting for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to do the mirror?
Yeah.
We need to clean the mirror.
Yeah. Yesterday, somebody asked if we were okay. We are fine.
Okay. How?
I don't know. I'm like, maybe we
grumpy?
were grumpy.
I didn't notice.
Like, just a regular grumpy. Occasionally, I do have to tell Zeb to slide over. So if that comes off as grumpy, I'll start going, please leave your stuff. All right, let's see if I can get this figured out.
All your craft's in my way.
Your craft is in my stuff. This one's a little tricky because it's like mostly just big floral and not really any stems. So I might need some assistance. Now,
you need some layout assistance?
Do we want to do, I think we should do all white. Or do you want to mix in red?
I like
this
the all.
This is the frame, but I think
like
white would be really classy. And I love the red ones. I like to use them on different things.
The white, I think, will look good with.
Oh, there's pink too. So how about these?
Oh, pink would be good with the whitish frame, the white and wood frame.
Yeah, I'm going to cut these out. Sherry says, I used cottage colors for the first time and I'm in love. Used Americana and an end table and was so impressed and went back to the store an hour away to buy more to do my dining set.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we have a
love
piece
it.
that we sold. It was that dresser that we got for free and did last summer. It's being picked up by James today to be shipped. And it's had all kinds of stuff on it over the year. There were scuffs all on the top. And I thought for sure I was going to have to repaint it because we put metal and all kinds of things. All I did was take a Clorox wipe and just kind of went over it. And then anywhere there was a scuff, I just kind of hit it a little extra with a Clorox wipe. And all the scuffs came off. The paint still looks like the day that we put it on. I think if it was a super shiny piece, then maybe it might pull up, right? But that piece was like mid shiny and the paint just adheres so well. I'm just really impressed. Because if you've ever put furniture in your shop and you're constantly moving what's going on top of it, you know how things can get scuffed. And this one just cleaned up really nice. So I was a happy girl. Because I was full prepared to repaint the top.
She was ready. She came with a paintbrush to the shop. She's like, I'm just going to put another coat of Americana just to be sure.
Just to be sure.
And then we didn't have to.
I really didn't want to because it's all nice and cured and I didn't want to have to put fresh paint before I shipped it. But it looked good. Cleaned out all the drawers. Leslie's piece, of course, never had anything on it because she bought it the second that we painted it. So we just grabbed that up from storage on the second floor. And it's ready for James. And then we have another piece we sold on Etsy, which was like an oval antique table. I'm getting stuff on my freshly cleaned mirror. I'm going to have to do that.
So I'm just waxing this whole thing to give it all like a nice even sheen. Because I did have to sand it a little. And some of this white, they used like a really chalky, powdery type paint on it. It was coming off when I touched it. So I'm going to wax over that and then that'll hold everything in and we'll be good to go.
I just want to make sure there's no dust on this. So can you try not to kick up your sanding disc when you're...
Yeah, I got a drip over here, looks like.
It also could have been me. Okay, can you fix the...
Yes.
Camera. Okay, I like things in odd numbers. So I might do...
What I would do is do it in a corner or something and not let it float. Like don't put floating flowers on there.
All right.
So start with the heavy one and then do the others and maybe build some leaves around it.
I was going to do it in the center, but I see what you're saying.
I mean, you can do it, but you break the float rule. It's tried and true. Don't break it now.
Hold, please. I have extra leaves in case I need to hide something weird. Do I have a Habitat for Humanity? We do. It's not super close, but it's not very well organized.
We have
or
3
stocked.
within like an hour of us.
If we're looking for construction supplies, we go there. But for
when I need windows
things,
or doors, they always have like hundreds of both.
I think.
And sometimes toilets, like you can get toilets real cheap there. Cabinets, they always have cabinets. We might want to look into that.
But don't fling any paint my way.
I'm not. This is wax. Because we've been for the last year we've been contemplating redoing this kitchen. And it's the redo. We were hoping to save some, but as always, things come up. Kids need help with college, various different
Odelia
things.
was in college this year.
Yeah.
Paddington is in college now. Odelia's going on a mission, and we're funding that.
So all that to say, we're going to have to do the kitchen redo on a budget.
Well, I think I'm just going to wait.
Well, we're going to have to do a new sink anyway.
Yeah, we got to do a new sink. Once I can afford the sink and the stove that I want, I'll figure out the rest. I can't make a stove and I can't make a sink, but I can make everything else. Well, not make it, but like get it used, build it, You know the jam. Okay. Hey, Caitlin's on. Hello, Caitlin. Okay, we've got one peony in the corner. Hopefully this looks the way that I want it to. We'll see. We will see. The other thing about putting this in the bottom is that somebody will still be able to like see their face if they need to. Kind of takes it from a mirror. No, sorry, I was like squirreling all over the place. It takes it from a mirror to a piece of art, but also we will not be sealing this transfer. I have put many mirrors on transfers and on windows and never had a problem. If you're going to clean this, you don't want to scrub it. You're going to spray your gentle cleaner on your cloth and dry dust it. That's it. Like usually you don't need to scrub a mirror. So just keep that in mind.
Sometimes they get dusty.
It's art and a mirror. So do you scrub your art with a scrub brush? No. Same thing with this transfer. We've had one on a piece of glass for probably 5 years. It's now in my mom's room and it's still looks
It's
great.
fine. It holds up to humidity because it's in the bathroom.
Yeah, it used to
with the
be in the
shower.
hallway. Their last house.
Yep.
And the nice thing is they transfer really well on these slick surfaces.
All right, I am ready to pop that into here when you are. I'm going to go check on your pink thing. It's probably ready for another coat.
Now, I don't know if I want to get real big and go up the side or if I just want to keep it small. I'm just going to go along the bottom. I think I'm just going to go that way. And then I might put little flowers there. I think this one, the scale is just too big for this piece. So
the inlay is still a little damp.
okay,
I'm going to leave it out there. It's still very cool to the touch.
Where is this sink you purchased in London? It's
in the barn waiting to be put into the cottage.
Yeah, it is.
It'll be in the cottage.
In the barn, safely awaiting cottage. It's too small for like our big family, but perfect for a little cottage. I would have loved their larger sink. And now that I know that I can get sinks home, if we don't have a sink by the time we go to England the next time, we might consider going back to the Hungerford arcade and see if they have the larger sinks, and then we'll just ship it back the same way. I didn't want to risk it on a larger sink until I had tried it out. And the sink arrived alive. It was a lot of effort, required essentially pool noodles.
Well, and those ones aren't that much bigger. They're just deeper. This one that we got is like 5 inches deep. Yeah. It's not very deep.
Got extra leaves in case I need it. I put a mirror on a transfer on a mirror. Sorry. My brain is all over the place this morning. So you guys are going to have to hopefully keep track of what I'm saying because I clearly am not. It's kind of like when I use voice text and that doesn't understand me. Combine voice text with me not completing my sentences and it makes really interesting things. Luckily, Caitlin speaks Jamie. I don't text and drive, but occasionally I'll voice text in the car. And I don't bother to check and see if it's correct because that would also be distracting. So I'm going along the edge with my stick. So it's kind of cutting the transfer where I don't need it to be over the edge. And you can cut the transfer ahead of time, but every time I do that, I like cut it too short or something and it doesn't look good. Okay, not that. So that's planned. So if I do that, I think I might need to come back with some like things. It was like my sound effects. I need to.
She did that earlier when she couldn't think of something today. She's like, what's that thing called?
What if I...
It's like, I don't know what is.
What if I cut this in half and put half and half? I think I'm going to do that. We'll see what it looks like. I have a big B-day coming up. What birthday is coming up? June. I don't know what she's talking about. Oh, she's talking to Mary Beth. I was like, what do you mean Big B Day? I don't know. I maybe should have cut that differently. I don't like that one.
Too many leaves. Sometimes you gotta omit leaves. You gotta edit the transfer.
This one's gonna go this way, and this one's gonna go this way, and this leaf, there's way too many leaves on this situation, so I'm gonna have to cut around it. Well, it would cover up my peony. And I also need to have less flower because I didn't cut that quite in the middle. Well, I cut it in the middle, but there was more flower on one side than the other. So it's pretty good. Okay. Composition is important. Composition and balance. Speaking of which, this leaf has to go here. Sorry, leaf, you gotta go. There we go.
So with the DIY paint, something to keep in mind when you're doing a second coat, it is water soluble until sealed. Or porous, however you want to call it.
So don't pull, and the paint
you got to
is
not
water-based.
overwork it. You got to put the paint on, and then if you got a little streak, you got to walk away till that's dry. Otherwise, you're just going to pull the paint off in that area. I'm telling you this because it just happened to me.
Especially if it's shiny. This had a pretty slick finish. There we go.
Like it adheres great, but if it gets wet, then it's like new paint again.
Mary Beth is an adopted sister into our family. And people are like, don't say adopted. I just say that like we didn't grow up together. She's from my parents' neighborhood, and they went to church together for many, many years, and we just adopted her into our family. Somebody thought.
I mean, she calls your mom mom.
Yeah. Somebody thought when I said adopted, though, that she was like grew up and we adopted her, and they're like, don't specify the difference. I'm like, it's not quite like that kind of an option. And my kids have all grown up with Aunt Mary Beth. Sometimes family is not born into your family, but chosen. And that's where Mary Beth came from. I don't know if we chose her or she chose us, but it's worked out pretty well over the years. Oh, I like that.
Just going to leave it like that?
Yeah, well, I'm going to finish this side. I haven't decided if I'm going to put something on the top here. I might take, I don't think I have any more left over. We'll see. I'm going to, I actually don't mind that going over that a little bit because that did. Where did I do my stick?
The invisible stick is always a problem.
I'm glad you said to go on the edges because I was going to do like a big floral clump in the middle, and I like this a lot.
I think that would have been fine if you'd have done like a floral wreath, but just like a big clump in the middle, I think would be weird looking. A
little clump situation, like Elysium, you could just put in the middle of this.
All art needs grounded unless it's like super abstract.
Yeah. Well, anything I do is abstract. Okay. So now I have to decide. I'll show you guys where we're at with this. Sorry, you guys have been looking this upside down. And it doesn't, you'll notice that these are not completely level on each side. That's okay, because that's natural, right? Like you don't want it to be perfect. I mean, maybe you do, but I'm not gonna. So, all right, I'm gonna decide whether or not I want to do these corners on this with a flower. See what we got left. I don't want to do any like dark red. I could throw some ivy on each corner. Let's have ivy that would go across. What do you guys think? So should I leave it as is, or should I put ivy kind of at it, like coming in each corner? Because there is ivy in this. And I don't normally love ivy, but I like this because it's like a lighter color. And there's these two pieces I could put kind of at an angle. Leave it as is. Okay. I'm going to take the people have spoken. I got to get to my drawer anyway, so I'll let Zeb screw this back in together with that.
Yep.
And it's funny how much this mirror is going to change because it went from being super modern and geometrical to very floral and French. And then we'll probably take the insert and paint that, distress it, and make that almost like a piece of art that somebody can hang on the wall too. So it's like two pieces out of one. All right, I'll be back.
Okay. I'm just going to be putting pink on this. Do you need me to paint the top white as well?
Yeah, if you are. Oh, I do need to. I'm going to put an inlay on the front. So when that's dry, let's do one more coat.
Okay.
I was going to put it coming down. I have
we might be going over today.
Yeah.
But this is working out really well. The pink is sticking to this gray. I love pink with like dark browns anyway. So when we distress this, it's going to bring that brown through that pink. I think it's going to be great. I have some spots I missed a lot. Like the whole front of this leg here.
It needs to be wetter. I'm just using a damp rag because, like I said, I don't want to get this whole thing wet. And I'm trying just to push where the actual paint is. Oops, I'm kind of getting it everywhere. Oh, you guys want to see that? Ta-da! So now I'm going to heat gun it. And if I have any, let's push this so I can reuse it. It's so hard with these little pieces. If I have any lines, which I don't think I do because I was really careful not to push along the edges, I can lightly sand those before I seal it. I am getting better at inlays the more I do.
No, I think you got it down pretty well.
I'm not going to go far enough to say I got it down.
I mean, it turns out pretty good.
The second you think that you're perfect at something, you will be humbled. And so I'm always going to say,
you want to stay in the humble zone?
Well, no, I don't want to get humbled, so I'm going to try to stay humble. The thing we use to fill in stuff. So when we're filling in holes, we either use paper clay or we use Bondo if it's really big.
The air dry clay?
Or air dry clay, yeah. So it looks a little weird because I got wet and the crinoline deepened. But once I dry this, it should look pretty normal. You don't have to heat gun it. I'm just doing it for live TV sake.
Oh, did you already peel that?
Sure did.
That looks good.
And when I painted this drawer, I went this way and then I went this way, and it gives it kind of a linen effect, which I really love. All right, so I didn't really get what they like to call the panty lines, like the edge around it. There's like slight, I'll still show you what I would do if I had it, but sometimes there's a slight edge on there. So let me grab.
I feel like you can control that a lot more if you use the cloth.
Yeah, if you do it like the way that I did it, you can control it because you're not wetting the whole piece. You're not rolling it super hard. I'm just barely touching on the edge. All right, I'm going to lightly distress this. So if I had a line, I would just take my sandpaper. This is 220. And I'm not sanding the inlay. I just come in and just go around kind of where the paper line is before you seal it. And then I'm going to lightly, that's the 150. I was like, that felt a little rough. Where's the 2?
It's right here.
20. Okay. I do not want to 150 this. I'm just going to lightly go over the whole piece. Be careful because there's pigment in your paint. So I'm just going to use a paper towel to pick it up after I've blown most of it off. And I've got a little bit that's smeared, but overall, that's a pretty smooth look. Now it's ready for sealer. So I'll go ahead and you're supposed to use half sealer, half water and set it before you brush on a sealer, or you could just spray it with a spray gun of sealer. You know how we put our sealer in our spray gun, but I'm just going to use clear wax because
wax is
that's
easy.
how I do it. Just be careful not to overwork it and smear it. And make sure it's really, really dry.
I'm painting the top. Just don't be scared.
I'm not scared. You can do a nice, neat job.
They just can't see it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking to me. I'm like, you're actually capable of being neater than I am. Do you have the clear wax over there, sweetie?
I do.
Well, that is why I can't find it. Do you have a wax brush?
I do.
Yeah.
It's right there and right there.
It had a weird knob on it, so I don't know if I have anything here. I might have to go shopping in the shop. I know I have some crystal knobs in the shop, so I might just grab that out of my random knob display. So you guys will have to get the idea without it being all the way finished. All right, so I'm just going over the inlay, and then I'm just gonna not overwork it. Now that I've got wax on it, I'm not gonna go over that spot again. I'm gonna let that dry out. Then I'll just, in a few hours, come back with a rag. I just wanna make sure it's nice and everywhere else sealed up.
This has enough divots in the top. I'm having to kind of pounce it in. I think we might sand that again and bring some of that white back. Paint on me? Why is there, that was a lot of spit.
It's fine. I got it off. All right, I'm gonna put this over here because we need to, I'm gonna swap you jobs because we need to get that.
Well, I'm gonna take this outside because it's ready to go outside. I need to
put the inlay on.
Oh, you're gonna do inlays on the front.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna do that where they can see you do that?
They're gonna have to just believe me.
Do you need me to face that towards me.
It's really important that they see what I'm doing, but it's also really important that I see what I'm doing. Now I got all these transfer parts. The question is, where are the inlays that I cut out?
All right, you're gonna have to just pretend.
Pretend you can see what I'm doing. I can't do it in front of the camera or else I'll step on the cords and that never ends well.
Okay, we're back on the mirror.
Here they are. So I got these little pieces and I'm going to put them on the down spot on the front. I just need to add more pink and I'll flip it around to show you. Let me clean up my transfer mess. I got a lot of scrappy doos here. So because the front part's dry, I'm going to put another coat of pink on here. You want your paint to be nice and wet for that inlaid adhering. So I'm just repainting the fronts. Well, that's backwards. I promise see, I can't say that I'm really proficient at something because then I get humbled.
Put it on backwards?
It's fine. I recognized it before.
You saw it before it was
It's not like I've never done it before. I'm going to push this down into the paint. I'm going to narrate it. I'm delicately tapping my little inlay and I'm going to get it wet. And then you can put it outside. I think we should be able to get this done enough that they can see it and then we'll finish it off camera.
We'll just need to distress and wax it, which is, I think you're just going to clear wax it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because dark wax really will just muddy that up, I think.
And well, when we distress it, we'll get enough contrast from the dark base that's underneath it. Okay. Can you use cottage color paints as a wash on cabinets? Yeah, you can. If you water it down a lot, I would probably still put a sealer on there, especially if the cabinets are raw. Because you're thinning out. It's not that you're going to lose any sealing power. You're just going to have less sealing power. If that makes sense. You're thinning out the sealer along with the paint. So it's not going to have the durability. Trick's going to be trying to get these kind of even.
All right, you guys ready for the reveal?
Ta-da!
I even put it in up right side up.
That's so cute. So now that it's done, I think we need to do, oh, you got pink on the front. I think you need to do a white dry brush to do more white on the frame.
White on the frame.
Yeah. I like the natural wood coming through, but I will flip this around so you guys can see where my inlays are.
I don't see any pink.
Down here. It's actually okay. It looks good, but I want more of a white dry brush on there.
All right.
I can do it though, if you'd like.
No, I'm going. I'm going.
Because we already have the crinoline out.
You got about 3 minutes to finish up your inlays.
Well, it's going to take longer than that. I guess I can heat gun it. Did the rocking horse? No, we did not put a tail on it because we did not want a tail on it. It was never getting a tail.
We find a lot of horses out in the wilds, the rocking horses, especially like wooden toy ones, and especially older ones that don't have any tails at all. So I already waxed this, but fun fact, you can tint your DIY wax with DIY paint. And so it's basically like, I'm not going to worry if some of this dry brush comes off. Are we blurry over here? It's because you don't have a face in front of it. Your face is hiding back behind. Anyway, I'm not going to, if some of this dry brush comes off because of the wax that I already waxed it underneath, it'll be fine. And they should meld together fairly well.
I'm going to let that air dry just a little bit.
Okay, I put more on there. I think Jamie's right. It looks better.
We might just have to flip this around, put the drawer in, and you guys will get the idea. Because I really don't want to rush this and not get a good.
Did you dry them?
Hey, don't push.
They feel dry.
This one's still a little damp.
Okay. I'm going to set this aside for a second.
Okay.
But that mirror turned out really good. If you missed the first of the video,
I'm going to show them what we took out of it.
It had this over the top of the mirror. Which wasn't
bad, but we couldn't really upcycle it because I feel like it was his best paint job it was going to get the way that it was. So
this was like this over the mirror, which, you know, that's fine. Just not our cup of tea.
Yeah, it's not. It's more our style now. All right, I'm going to get this.
Now it'll go right in the shop and you'd never know that it was like all its friends are at the shop.
I think we're just going to dry brush the middle part so we can do the side and the back that we took out and then just sell it separately. So someone can hang it on the wall if they want to. Before, what do you mean, really dry brush covering up a lot of the mirror.
You mean dry brush the middle part?
Like dry brush like this side. This is the middle part of this.
Oh.
So dry brush this whole thing and the sides and
I'll just do that right now.
So I wasn't like really making myself clear.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see if these rushed inlays look okay. Oh yeah, they look fine.
Yeah, look at that. Making it work on live TV.
I did put a kind of thick amount of paint on there, so I might have to sand the edges, but they'll get what the look's going to be. All right, can you flip that around for me when I'll dry brush this if you flip that around.
Yep.
So because this came out of this mirror, the sides are not like they have no paint on them. So we want it to look more cohesive. So
do you need me to pop the drawer in?
Yep. Imagine a crystal knob on it because that's what's going in it.
And it's going to get distressed, but it's still damp in quite a few areas. Oh yeah, that looks good. Let me show you the top The top is still very wet. It needs to go outside and bake in the sun for a minute. So you can still see that texture a little bit. It picks up in the shine there. We'll distress some of that back. Some of that dark will come back through. And then same on the legs. It'll kind of pull all that together. Probably the edges of this drawer will get distressed. Oh, Jamie already did a little bit.
Oh, the drawer's already done.
Okay.
The drawer's
So,
and
little
the drawer's
crystal
already
knob.
waxed too.
Nice. Little crystal knob. I think a cast iron knob would also work pretty well.
If you did
on
a
that.
cast iron knob, I would white wax it to make it look more oxidized. Otherwise, it would be too contrasty. All right, so now this is ready to go into the shop. We just added a dry brush to the side. We didn't really need to do that because it'll
It's
probably
like a
go on
big
wall,
snowflake.
it's really cute. And you can put like a wreath in front of it, hang it up on a wall. I'm going to show them the mirror when we get all our projects together. All right, I'll come over here with my...
And we're pretty much done. And we're mostly on time because we started a couple minutes late.
Okay, if you guys need, the inlay is the petite, what did I say that one was called? Petite floral?
Pink.
Petite fleur pink. There goes my heat gun. And then I used the Collage de Fleurs transfer on the mirror. We used crinoline and petticoat pink and clear wax. The drawer looks minty. I think it's just the coloring. It's not. It's crinoline, which is a cream
It's like
color.
a yellow buttercream.
Yep. If you guys like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more.
DIY.
And you can buy all the paint products, and these items will be listed shortly at jamierayvintage.com. Now the question is, can I find my mouse?
It's buried in all the DIY supplies over there.
Let's see if I can get this off here.